Knives of the Apocalypse. Kind of a neat little idea. There's always videos going around it, and I was watching some of Sharp End's knives videos, and I enjoy watching his stuff. And, it's something that I've kicked around and stuff, and I got a lot of knives, and we never want to see an emergency situation, but if we do, we'd like to think that we can try to manage, that we aren't completely without something to be able to work with. So with that, this is going to be strictly small to medium knives. I'm putting that in one category because they cross for me. From what I see, what other people compare things to. So they're all going to be probably in that 3-inch to 4-inch knife blade range, roughly. So I was having a hard time figuring out how to start this. I've been kicking this around for too long. But this is a knife that more than likely, realistically, I'm going to have on me. This is a neck knife I wear at least 5 to 7 days a week. And I only switch it out for one other neck knife, and that is the White River Sendero pack. Both of them White River. Both of them have their point and their place. This one's going to be more robust and take a bit more of a beating, finer point. This is going to be better at processing game and food and, slicing thin stuff. So pick your poison. I'm not going to get into details on all that. I'm just going to throw out some knives that I think are fantastically great. So those are two that, obviously are on the list that would be there. But I wanted to do some honorable mentions. Ones that probably wouldn't be in my everyday. And see, here I'm moving knives again over here on the side because I'm like, no, that one has to be in the keep. That can't be an honorable mention. First honorable mention, jeez Louise, is the Heli Torrid. This is a very good Scandinavian wood lore knife. Just handmade, hand finished, beautiful knife, but made to work. They are not a full tang, they're a stick tang, but if you're using this with your hand, I'm not going to say you're never going to break it, but my gosh, you'd have to be working it so hard. But with that, it is a stick tang. Realistically, that's not going to be in my kit. If it was in my kit, though, there's worse things to have. Another one just right along the same lines, a little bit smaller, is this Heli, and I'm going to murder this name, Vaskallen, I don't know. It's a neat little Scandinavian wood knife. I mean, nice fat little handle, but still lightweight and plenty of control on it. I ground that down just so I could have that thumb scallop there because I like that. But anyways, man, that's a solid little knife. Honorable mention because, again, stick tang, and it probably wouldn't be in my kit. Another one that I don't like putting this one up here because this is a good knife, and I don't want to throw any shade on this knife because it's the LT Wright Small Northern Hunter. This has I'm pretty sure the aeb-l steel. Yeah, takes a wicked razor edge. Good, man, this thing would be so good at skinning squirrel and rabbit and deer and but yeah, you could still whittle with it, and just fantastic knife. The handle is slightly too small for me, and I got smaller hands than some guys, and it's just, man, if it just had a little bit more meat on it, that would be wicked. Just doesn't fit category. This one here, oh geez, yeah, it's gonna be an honorable mention as well. Smith & Son Velcaro, I think it's Velcaro or something like that. Super curvy, super pretty, Just, oh man, this knife here again, processing deer, working the farm, working the ranch. This thing here, castrating hogs. I mean, this is just, whew, you could get a day's work done in a hurry, man. Boy. But anyways, an honorable mention. With that, oh man, these were gonna be honorable mentions, but they're actually literally with me almost every single day. And almost everywhere. One of those is in my camera bag, the Smith & Son Spur. This little thing is like a bird and trout little knife. Has this little front guard, so if you do need to, you know, push into something, you can. Has a solid grip for the size of it. Just, man, it's a Perry knife on steroids that just feels good, works good. It's literally with me every single day. So if I was going to be in a situation, that knife probably going to almost be with me. This knife is in my car, and I'm in my car a lot. So Nomad EDC, first production run, has that Hitachi steel, so kind of like a 154. I was yeah, kind of in that CPM, or not the CPM 154, the standard 154. So kind of in that line. Man, curvy, scalloped out, solid, beefy, good, solid knife. Now that there is a whistle. And if you keen folks out there think it's a noon whistle, but you realize the lighting's not quite right for that, well, you'd be correct. And there's no wind or much for clouds in the sky, so it's not a storm, but where I live actually has a 6 o'clock whistle. And that's kind of cool. But anyways, and I live just a couple blocks from it, so it's nice and loud. But those two knives, like I said, are with me every day. They were going to be an honorable mention. So next is, you know, part of my everyday carry kit a lot is at work. And this one, more than likely, if I was in a situation, is going to be the very good knife company, Mantis. Worn cliff blade, takes a really great edge, has held a good edge, decent amount of grip, which oddly enough, and this is weird because this grip is bigger, but this one is better. And I don't know why, and it frustrates me. Just, yeah, that's, anyways, we're skipping off of that. Getting too far down the rabbit hole. Great solid knife. I take to work with me every day. I work it, I use it. On the weekends, though, if I'm working around the house, it is going to be in my back pocket. It is going to be the very good knife company Rambler. This is actually, ooh, I don't know if this video will be up before the sale. This probably is out right when those went on sale, or right after. Anyways, great solid work knife. ADC RV2 steel, takes a keen edge. Again, it looks simple, but the handle, in its simplicity, there's comfort in many different directions and just a usability to it. You know, it's nothing fancy. It gets right to the point and it works. Next two knives that I would be happy to have, and would be ones that if I was running out of the house, I would probably grab this one right here. This here is probably the ultimate for me. Smallish, largish. This is right in the middle of the line, but this is it. We'll get back to it. I'll show you a little bit more of it. No, we'll just do that. Sorry. It's based off a Heli Utavar or something like that. I got their blank because they used to sell blanks for these. They're 12 CRV2 or 12 whatever Sandvik steel they use. So not the most high end, but man, this thing literally took the sharpest edge I've ever had on anything. I used it for a little bit, cut a bunch of things, just testing it out, checking how the edge was going. My number 3 daughter grabbed a hold of this thing and started whittling, and she whittled for like 2 days straight with this thing for probably 3-4 hours in the afternoon for 2 days. I mean, so she put some time on this and just sitting there whittling away and cutting at things. I ran it back over the strop, and this thing is still so blistering, blazing sharp that it didn't really lose the edge. It came back. This is my edge I put on here, though. This is, I don't know what you'd call, a Scandi Vex. I took my time with it. It's got some bite, but it just makes hair just freaking sing straight off. I don't want to touch this. See, I just barely touched it and I have hair on there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. That's just, it scares me. This knife, I don't know, and it just has a little bit of grip. Just what? Yeah. Just. Yeah. Anyways, that's that one. Next two that I have that I would be more than happy to grab would be this Essie. This is a Ashley game knife. This thing is beefy, but yet still has some really good grooves and curves to it to be able to hold on to. Man, this thing is designed with a purpose and an intent. S35VN steel, Essie's famous lifetime warranty, and it is just built super tough. Like this thing, it is fantastic. Something that if I was in a very bad situation, that knife would be a pleasure to have with me. Another one is the LT Wright Camp Muck. This, for a smallish knife to do so much, very thin edge. This has that PSB 27 steel, so basically it's not CPM, so it's not a powder metallurgy, but it's a spray form metallurgy of D2. So it's supposed to keep the carbides and all that good stuff finer, take a better edge than D2 possibly, not chip out as much, but still have all the great strength and attributes and all that good stuff. I don't know if I'm doing any good on focusing on this. Always having troubles. But I got an edge on this one too. It is not as sharp as my my heli thing, but it is not far behind. I mean, yeah. I haven't beat on this enough yet. I want to beat on that. Anyways, those are the knives I grabbed. That's, and it took me a few days to grab them. And even here at the end, I'm still switching them around and stuff. Any one of these knives, I would be happy to have in a survival situation. Some are slightly more robust, easier to sharpen steel, easier to work around, whatever. But I'd be happy to have all of them. You know which ones I'm going to more than likely end up having in my pocket or on me is going to be those. That would be the realistic, if something happened while I'm out and about, two of those knives are going to be on me. Hopefully it never comes to that situation where I have to rely on my life or the life of my family with those two knives. But if they do, which two would you rather have? Or would you take any of these two? Why don't you leave me a comment? Which one of these would you like to have with you? Or what is your favorite? Thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. You have yourself a wonderful day. Look forward to your feedback and your time. Thank you, sir, ma'am, whoever.